I'm your host, Logan23. Joining me for X-Files, Episode 1, Aleutian Islands, Alaska. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, the kind of town with a single stoplight and not much else. Once I graduated, I joined the Marine Corps and didn't look back. So when I was sent with a small team to Rowan Base, an icy rock on Alaska's Aleutian Islands, I felt a tightness in my throat. I felt like coming home, like being forced to live in a barren microcosm again. Being with my fellow Marines made it easier to stomach at first. They said we were placed here in secret due to an aggressive overtures from North Korea. After a few months, we discovered that wasn't true. The first missing was Renee Martin. Out of the patrol, we thought she went AWOL. But then we lost Private Green and Corporal Oberly. All the missing left their dog tags and weapons behind. We gave up on speculating about their fates. This was just weird. An investigator was brought in, an outside consultant, ex-Marine, ex-cop, ex-federal agent. He couldn't stop the disappearances, or even explain them. But then he found a hatch leading to a facility under the base. We assumed it was the real reason we're stationed here. Me and Andy Chevelle are the last two standing. So, while the consultant waits for backup to arrive, we two privates have been sent down to investigate. We're in some kind of laboratory we didn't know existed yet yesterday, hoping we don't go missing too. Dexler. What is it, Chevelle? I think I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't a shadow I saw. Lack of sleep may get into me. Something. Stay calm and on mission. It's okay. We'll take our time if need be, but if you think you saw something, we have to look into it. Do we, though? I mean, it's not the mission. Not exactly. It's technically not even a mission. Recon for the missing. Keep an eye out for anything weird. Report back. Those first two done. We found what? Weapons, buckles, boot soles, dog tags, no bodies, and maybe I saw a shadow. That's all weird. Time to report back! We need to know what you saw. You might have seen a flicker of light, or it could be one of ours. Right now, we have no idea. Come on, Dex. Tell me you feel it too. Something's really messed up in here. That's what I see at the shadow, but it's not a shadow, it's... Chevelle! It's some kind of thing. It's vaguely human, it has no ears, no eyes, no mouth, and it's covered in lime. Whatever it is, I'm sure it has to be behind the disappearances. It has to be hostile. I'm trying not to let my alarm and unease trip me up when the slimy thing ups the creep factor with a scream. It sounds afraid, like we're attacking it, but it's coming right for Private Chevelle, who's in my way. Chase me, not him. Hey, over here. Come get some, you big ugly turd. I don't know if I'm more shocked by my dumb taunt working or how fast the thing snaps its head in my direction. That's it. That's right. Lure the creature away from Chevelle. I figure once it's, between us, we can flank it, but Chevelle's running on adrenaline panic. He fires too soon. Die! His bullets don't seem to faze it. He turns his attention back to him. Chevelle, no! I'm clear to fire, but the slimy thing's so fast that I can't keep it from reaching Chevelle. What? What's it? No! No! Ah! It's hard to understand what I'm seeing. It doesn't grab Chevelle so much as absorb him. Every bit of Chevelle that touches its body bubbles and dissolves. I gag at the smell of sulfur and ammonia. Dexler! My name becomes an inhuman gargle. It's an awful guttural sound of an animal in the throes of death. Put Chevelle out of his misery. Aim for Chevelle's head, gather my courage and squeeze. I tell myself he'd do the same for me. That's it. Chevelle's gone. Just me and it now. Run. There's no way I'm stopping that thing, not telling if it can be stopped. I do what makes the most sense and run for it. I live to fight another day. It's not far to the hatch. My lungs are still burning and on fire. The ammonia smell burns in my nostrils and down my throat. My senses are still so overwhelmed that I have no idea I'm not alone. No report. Where the hell is Chevelle? I'm about to jump out of my skin when I realize I'm not in immediate danger, and I'm too relieved to feel foolish. Hey, take it easy, Dexler. Deep breaths. Chevelle, some kind of... It killed him. You're safe now, okay? Take a second and breathe. I want to spell everything out all at once, but I take the advice, it helps. Now I want you to tell me. What did you see? John Doggett's the criminal consultant. He used to be with the FBI, before that he was NYPD, and before that a Marine. I tell him everything to the best of my ability. It's weird, he listens, he shows concern, he asks questions, but never once does he make me doubt what I'm telling him, or feel stupid for saying it. He believes me. Okay, well, we knew something wasn't quite right. I'm sorry that happened to Chevelle. Me too. Yeah. He's at peace now, remember that. Now, you know how I have those colleagues coming, right? You were sending for backup. Well, that's kind of what they do. They're specialized federal agents, and they're here. I need you to take me to where all this happened. My colleagues, they're going to need a sample. Sure, but stay alert. A sample. Okay? Make sure your safety's off, eyes open. You got it, Private. Let's go. Somehow I don't even raise an eyebrow when we get back to the spot, and there's nothing. No creature, no Chevelle. It would have almost been a relief to learn it never happened, but then I see Chevelle's dog tags, his sidearm, some mucus. I'm completely on edge. Sure, that slime creature is just around the corner, just out of my line of sight. While I stay alert, Doggett cautiously scrapes off some of the stuff into a small plastic bag. Your actions have unlocked a clue. Clues represent insight in a season-long mystery. Collecting enough clues will allow you to access a unique ending and bring you closer to the truth beyond the conspiracy. When we get back to the base, Doggett introduces me to his colleagues from the FBI. I repeat my account of what happened to Special Agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully for the second time I'm listened to. A humanoid slathered in mucus that doesn't bleed is nearly impervious to gunfire and spoke. The question is, what it discovered, or was it discovered or created? Not spoke. Screamed. It's more like it shouted. It sounded like it was being killed, but we hadn't even shot at it yet. Might have been a ploy to throw you off, confuse you. It didn't. I'm sure you are already thrown off enough. Special Agent Mulder and Scully are here because they have special expertise with this sort of thing. What sort of thing is that? Remote islands where slimy monsters prey on American soldiers? Nothing quite that specific. So, you haven't seen one of these before? But you've seen, like, Bigfoot? Bigfoot was a hoax perpetrated by a man who desperately wanted to believe that Sasquatches exist. BRB, as the kids say. I know all this seems like a lot to take in. How are you holding up, all things considered? I don't think it's hit me yet. Everything right now is so unreal. Like, I know Chevelle's dead, but it's not processing. Yeah, I hear you. It will hit, but probably not till after all this is over. Stay strong, Private. You'll want to hear what Scully found. Our digestive tracts are an ecosystem of bacterial species that process and synthesize nutrients. Now imagine that, except on the outside. The slime is its stomach? It's hard to say without examining the organism, but it seems likely, however strange it might sound. The bacteria I could identify are good at rapidly breaking down organic material, which would speak to what you witnessed. Are you a scientist? How do you know this stuff? I was recruited out of medical school. I do a lot of forensic pathology where we come across the occasional rarity like this. From time to time. The way Scully and Mulder look at each other, it's like they're in on the jokes. I can't even tell her jokes. They seem comfortable with their differences, glad for them. Almost like an all-old married couple, but deeper somehow. The gel itself is a mesh of regenerative cells that houses the digestive bacteria and acids. Regenerative, like plant cells. Plants and animals. I think some of them are mutated human cells. If I had to guess, I'd say the mesh is made to protect the organism from frost, burns, toxins, lacerations. I think we were sent to guard it. Made the Sci-Fi, right? Protected from gunshots, though. Maybe that's all true, but a gel can't stop bullets, can it? Bullets would be a stretch, but you said it wasn't bleeding, so I don't know. You know, we haven't ruled out the possibility that the entity in question could be supernatural in nature. I'm thinking of the Stargate project, where the U.S. Army sought to employ physics, or psychics and sensitives as intelligence assets. Unsuccessfully, and they also tried to use psychic dogs, Mulder. I don't know anything about any of that, but something killed everyone I was stationed with, and we have to do something about it. They stop. There's a whole conversation between the three sets of eyes. Special Agent Mulder breathes in, nods, and then... Let's stop the mucus man. How do we, do that, Scully? Special Agent Scully scans the infirmary like she's taking a rough mental inventory. I'll try to work with what we have here. There's enough mucus left to run some tests, but not much. Okay then, we'll leave you to it. While Scully gets to work, the rest of us take turns on watch. Whether I'm eyeballing the hatch or keeping myself busy, I think about Andy Chevelle. I remember how friendly he was, how others saw it as a weakness, how he looked to me for guidance, how he never leered or came on to me. By the time Scully's ready, I almost feel like I can process everything that's going on. Almost. Special Agent Scully, what do you have there? Is that a pesticide sprayer? It must date from World War II. Even from here, there's no getting away from the bugs. She looks to me, more like observes me. I can't read on what she's thinking, but I don't feel judged. Considering all you've been through private, you seem to be doing okay. I'm a soldier, I'm strong. This might not be exactly what I trained for, but I was trained, ma'am. I have no doubt. Just be prepared. Everything that's happening here, it's going to stay with you for a while. Understood. We've gotta get all the gear rounded up. What do you have for Scully? A mixture of antibiotics, antacids, diuretics. It reduces the effigy of the protective mucus, leaving the organism vulnerable. What about what's under the mucus? Do we know that's gonna be enough? It wasn't phased by bullets, but it might be pretty tough under there. Anything beyond your experience with it is speculation. We'll have to hope conventional weapons are enough. That lab is stalking ground. Corners, cramped hallways, places to hide. We're better off drawing it outside. Let's bring it there. I'll draw it out. I can go in there, get it to chase me into the open. That's appreciated, Private Dexler, but you'd be placing yourself in unnecessary danger. What Doggett means is, in a situation like this, we're the most qualified to take point. We're not sidelonging you. We need you and your rifle out there with us. Okay, I'll play support. Alright then, let's get it done. It's a simple enough plan. Once the mucus man is drawn out, Doggett and I hit it with suppressive fire, giving Special Agent Scully the opportunity to spray it down. Then we take no chances, hit it hard, we kill it. I have a hard time remembering it's ever being so cold out. Sharp gusts cut through every layer down to the bone. The wind's turbulent howl drowns out what Special Agent Mulder shouts in the lab. I can't tell myself it couldn't be the bizarrely obscene taunt my mind pieces together. I hope you didn't take what we said in the wrong way. I know you're a capable soldier, Dexler. It's okay, I get it. I've got no problem being a part of a team. Everyone has a role to play. That's a good way to look at it. Ego gets you killed. I don't think it's working. You have to assume it's intelligent enough to know what Mulder's trying to do. Got nothing. But we should give it a minute. I closed the hatch, so at least we should hear it come out. It wants to stay down there. I don't think it cares if you try to goad it. It knows it has the advantage. Why give it up? She's got a point, Mulder. I don't think waiting out here will produce the desired result. I say we give it a minute and see. I said some hurtful things, may have gotten through it. Dexler, behind you! I don't even bother to look. I spin in the snow, hoping I can keep my balance. As I pelt it with a rifle fire, it slows down, though not as much as before, but like it's built up an immunity to bullets. It occurs to me that it came from nowhere. It was hiding out of here and biding its time. I hope it isn't smarter than us. What are you waiting for? The nozzle's frozen. Doggett starts firing too, but without the mixture, our odds of taking it out aren't so great. My mind races for a backup plan. Dexter! Breath catches, my blood freezes. It's Seville's voice. His scream. Chevelle, talk to me. If that's you in there, Chevelle, try to fight it. Take control. Last thing Chevelle said. Exact, but hollow. Like an echo. It isn't him. He's dead. Doggett fires, hoping to draw its attention. It doesn't change course. It's locked in on me. Kelley and Mulder don't have the sprayer ready. I have to buy them time. Make it chase you. Since it seems interested in me, I start to pull back away from the others. Come on, come on. I forget how fast it is. I'm graciously trotting backward in snow while shooting. The mucus man pauses like it's contemplating, like it knows I'm toying with it. It turns to Scully and Mulder. They don't have the sprayer working yet. It tenses like a sprinter. Detonate the sprayer. It heads right for the agents at full tilt. Scully's trying to reattach the hose, but she's too late. I take careful aim and fire. It's a direct hit. The canister explodes, a small fireball flares, and recedes as Scully and Mulder shield themselves. They're bathed in the chemical spray. The mucus man, too, is shaken, vulnerable. I'm gonna go ahead and kill it. I take aim one last time, let out a breath, and squeeze the trigger. Right in the brainstem, it falls, blood pools onto the eyes. As Doggett's confirming my kill, Mulder checks on Scully. When he hears me coming, he rises. The hell were you thinking, Private? Scully's got shrapnel in her. I did what was right. If I hadn't done it, both of you'd be dead right now. I don't care what you think you accomplished. That was completely reckless. Mulder, give her a break. It's not that bad. And she did stop it. Scully's shaken, but she gets up. Mulder drops the subject, but he's still fuming. We join Doggett, who's crouched over the body. Would you look at that? Without all that gunk covering it. Definitely human. Once. Hard to pin down gender, carbon, skin grafts like armor. Who knows what was done on the inside? It may not have been created here, but it was created. Created by the government? I wouldn't care to speculate. Scully and Mulder share a long, wary glance. To me, it's like they're quietly agreeing that it was made by the government. It was hard to hear over the wind and everything. What did it say to you? Chevelle's last words in his exact voice, like a recording. Like when it screamed, "No, Chevelle." Maybe it absorbs victims' last memories. Good work, Private Dexler. The mucus man might have tripped you up when it spoke, but you were quick when you needed to be. Thank you. Mulder, give me a hand. I'm going to want to conduct as much of an autopsy as I can before we go. I'll get it. Take Scully inside. You'll be treating yourself before you go near that thing. Really, Mulder? I'm not that bad. We'll get back to the mainland soon enough. Rest and recover will do you good in the meantime. My eyes have been opened. I experienced something no one will ever believe, ever. I don't know what to do with that. You'll figure it out. I did. Mr. Doggett, what they do for the FBI, you say you did that too? That's right. Could you tell me more about it? Sure, I'll tell you inside. Some hot cocoa or something. So he tells me. And if it weren't for what I'd just gone through, I wouldn't believe it. Strange occurrences, anomalies, things on the edge of the paranormal. All cases informally classified as X-Files. All my life I knew there was so much out in the world that could never experience where I live, but this... even without the details, I'm riveted. For the first time I can remember, I feel a distinctive pull, a direction. It's not long before some Marines show up at Ron Base, shove us onto a lift transport, and take us to the mainland. We're outside Anchorage, so it's still cold and remote, but I'm among fellow soldiers again. I welcome the change. Scully seems fine. She does need stitches, so she might be downplaying it for everyone's benefit, but who am I to say? All I can do is think about the X-Files. Where do I start? Where do I go from here? What's in my way? Before long, the debriefings and statement requests from the Marines and the FBI begin. After a while, I wonder when they'll stop. I tell every last person what happened, what I witnessed, who was with me in the end, and what we did about it. I don't expect it to go, anywhere, but it makes me feel better. Then I get the call. I've been summoned. Senate Office Building, Washington, D.C. Private Dexler, sorry to make you wait. Always a fire to put out in a house full of matches. It's fine, ma'am. Please, you can call me Senator... just Senator. Do you know why you're here, Private? I haven't been given a reason, no, Senator. I haven't been told. Oh, I like that answer. Very much how a soldier should answer. No presumptions, no judgments. I've read the transcripts of the statements you've given to the Marine Corps and the FBI about Rowan Base. I've read the reports you filed. You claim that a dozen Marines were killed by a mutated human covered in mucus that dissolves organic tissue, and that this creature was kept in a secret underground lab. Those were some fantastical incendiary claims you have made. You know how it must look to your superiors, don't you? I won't lie. Every word of it was true, Senator. I stand by it, no matter how it looks. Standing up for your principles, come hell or high water, without pope or paddle to save you. The Senator stops the conversation cold. She looks at my eyes, sizes me up before she resumes. We're both small-town girls, you and I. Much as I loved it, I hightailed it out of stairs soon as I could. I was fortunate enough to attend college, and that's where I found the thing that had been missing from my life, my voice. Once I had my voice, I discovered how to use it, when and where, not just for my own benefit, but for everyone's. Reading the transcripts, it's clear to me you found your voice. I do think, however, you could put it to much better use. There are people who serve our country in office and in uniform who would believe what you have to say. Private Dexler, I'm one of them. To people like myself, your information is currency. If I hadn't voided your statement in full, you would have spent it on nothing. Let her continue. If what you said had made it to my fellow Justice and Defense Committee senators, you'd kiss any ambitions goodbye. Instead of letting you set a torch to your future, I put out a fire. Would you like to know why? Sure. I'm listening. John Doggett works for the FBI consulting firm I'm friendly with. Word is you wish to become a federal agent and work the X-Files. You know the X-Files? Are you somehow involved with the X-Files? What can you tell me about them? I can tell you that I approve of their existence, and that people who owe me can get you what you want. And what does she want in return, I wonder? 2 things: to keep in touch, and for you to serve for the best of your ability. And? That can't be everything. What else? That's really all there is, but I do like that you asked. I see a bright future for you, young lady. Obviously, you'll need to finish out your 4. Take some college courses and graduate the academy. You've got some work ahead of you, Private Dexler. Years of it. After my mandatory medical leave, I pass a psych exam and I'm back at it. Every day is an out-of-body experience. Everyone I knew from Alaska, I see them differently now. They don't know what's out there. They don't have a clue. I'm the only one. One day I'm listening to Private First Class Evansley talk about holding a seance for her dead grandma. And I can't stop asking myself, are seances real too? Spirits, ghosts, how much of this stuff is really real? Hoping it will be useful for my new future plans, I decide to spend the remainder of my military contract focused on field maintenance, information security, marksmanship. I'm gonna go with marksmanship. By the time I get my discharge, I'm a way better shot than I could be, and I wasn't so bad to start with. I've got a nice bit of savings built up when I leave the corps, but I know it won't last, so I keep it frugal. I find an affordable one-bedroom outside of Baltimore and furnish it with a bed, modest TV, a futon, and a folding card table. Everything else goes to food, utilities, and Jess Dexler Community College Fund. I don't mind not spending, but it's not too long before I'm bored and lonely. First few times I go out, it's not great. A young woman in a bar alone equals bait for cockroaches, I guess. I decide I need a part-time gig. Not just for money, but to get out and about. I pick up some hours as a data entry clerk, package sorter, ride-share driver. Well, she needs to get out and about while also picking up money and on a ride-share driver. I get to set my own hours and talk to complete strangers. What's not to love? The first day of intro to criminal justice, I guess at who might be the smartest person and convince her to become my study partner. Caitlin Martz wants to join the Bureau too, and she helps me get into the right mindset for school and my chosen career. She brings up things I hadn't even considered, like how to separate personal views on justice from the letter of the law. I'm surprised at how much better I do than in high school. It occurs to me I had no direction then, and no study buddy. And this is even with late nights out with Caitlin shooting pool, drinking guys under the table and laughing our asses off. During the day, along with my criminal justice courses, I take this great little elective too. Digital video and photography, improvisational acting, language acquisition. Language. I learn how we most likely came to create languages. We get into ciphers and AI too, pretty illuminating. Finally, the Academy. 5 years of Quantico madness, not as bad as the psych as boot camps, but way more studying. Caitlin and I are accepted at the same time. We're both serious about the Academy, but it feels like most of the others are so very serious. We do what makes less uptight friends, but I notice there are no fucks Mulders in the Academy. Am I the Mulder? I eat up every rare morsel about the X-Files I can get, whether it's innocently getting a trainer to bring up the topic or listening in on cafeteria gossip. Caitlin and I buckle down, competing for better marks. We both graduate in the top 10%. I'm in the top 10. Despite being good dorm mates, we both need personal space, and so we get our own apartments within a couple blocks of each other. I haven't told Caitlin about the truth about Alaska, so when I get to pick up assignments, she can't even begin to fathom my choice. Ultimately, she takes me at my word that I know what I'm doing. That makes one of us. FBI headquarters, Washington, D.C. Oh, Skinner! I love you. Jessica Dexley. I prefer Jess, sir. Agent Dexler, I want to congratulate you on your graduation. Top 5%. Good work. Thank you, sir. You can dress it down a notch. This isn't the corpse. No, of course. I couldn't help but notice that a search for your name pinged my own case files. I can only assume that it's no coincidence that what happened in Alaska lit the fire that brought you here. So let me start by asking you, what do you think the X-Files are? The unknown. The X-Files are everything we don't know that we can't explain. It's the seemingly impossible. Okay? Now let me tell you what the X-Files really are. X-Files are career killers. They make no sense, yet you're expected to make sense of them. X-Files lead to embarrassing reports, and more often than not, dead ends. Open cases. No one likes open cases. They're bad for clearance rate. They give your bosses ulcers, and most likely you too. Now I look at these scores, your jacket, you're smart, you know all this. Agent Dexler, what are you doing here? I need to know. Between what I experienced firsthand and everything your agents and Mr. Doggett said, once I learned these things exist, I couldn't think about anything else. I have to see what's out there. This isn't an adventure. You easily could have died in Alaska. Expect that to be the case going forward. Understood. I have here a glowing letter from Senator Elon Knudsen, all about you. Generally speaking, I listen to the senator, or else I can expect a lot of headaches. She's one of the 2 reasons you're sitting here right now. But as far as I'm concerned, no one new should be assigned to the X-Files. 2 reasons? If I may ask, what's the other reason? You're not the only recent graduate with a friend, and he needs a partner. In fact, there's a case waiting for you now in Philadelphia, a series of mysterious deaths. Your partner's already there. Thanks. Thank you, sir. I'll go right away. Get me in the loop. Be safe. I've got some calls to make. You can see yourself out. Standing outside Skinner's door, I can't help but think I can hear him. Mulder. Play as Skinner. Ooh! Okay, we're doing that. Assistant Director Walter Skinner. You know how long I've been trying to reach you two? I do. I've seen your texts. No heart emojis. Listen, before you get all justifiably righteous, you should know that we're fine. We haven't taken any of our infamous side excursions. Your famous side excursions. And we're making progress. Also, Scully says hi. Status update. Tell me where you're at with the X-File and when I can expect you back. We tracked the source of the broadcast disruptions, auroras, and the strange going-ons in the abandoned cabin on Lake Muskie. There's a powerful electromagnetic force emanating from it. We need to investigate, but couldn't find anything. Then somehow our rental boat went missing, and there we are with our phones not working. We had to swim back. Oh, and then we had to rent another boat to go back out, get our phones, and we had to get out of the range of the disturbance. So now we're at the laundromat next to the motel, deciding our next move. I'd like Scully's take. Put your partner on. Scully, is everything he just said accurate? It is. My only guess is a high concentration of magnetic alloys under the island. Unfortunately, it doesn't explain how all this only just began. Doesn't explain the boat either. No, it does not. And what does Mulder say it is? Well, of course, spooky Mulder says it's ghosts. He wants to look into the cabin's history for murders, or I don't know. Do both. And Mulder check the place's history while you look at any geological data the local DNR says. And maybe something will stick. You never know. Hang on, Mulder wants to talk to you again. Did you have that interview yet? I told you it's not an interview. Dexler's in. Where's that pressure coming from? Can't be from inside the bureau. That's my problem. You let me worry about that. You've got a job to do. I hope she's done some growing up since she's going to do my job. She was reckless in Alaska. Mulder, it's been a few years. Dexler's obviously applied herself, and it's not like you're never reckless. I'm not saying I won't give her a chance, Scully. We'll see. What about the other thing? I thought I heard you say something about Pierce. We can talk about it once you're back. I'll make introductions if they're in town. You sent them to Philly, didn't you? Well, that'll be a trial by something. Almost forgot the rental place is billing the bureau for the full value of the boat. Oh, and Scully says bye. Now that's gonna go over well. Mr. Skinner, I take it your call is over? Yeah, hey, Jerome. Check with IT, see if they got anything who knows a lot about EMPs or who to talk to. Well, you, can ask if you want. One of them's waiting out here to talk to you. It's urgent. It never ends, Jerome. Special Agent Jess Dexler. I board the train, and just like that, I'm FBI Agent Jess Dexler, heading for Philly. I've got a good butterflies and bad ones fluttering up a storm, and I can't believe this is happening. From a town of 800 with zero mystique to investigating the X-Files. From nearly dying on an icy slab of nothing to arriving at my first case. From surviving the stuff of nightmares to inviting more of the same into my life. Oh, what the hell. At first, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Then I see frozen feet, and work upward from there. My cheeks flush, my throat tingles when I see it. The person was flash frozen in the middle of exploding. A series of mysterious deaths. Are you kidding me, Skinner? Talk about your understatements. There's something in his voice, a sort of laugh. I can tell if he's darkly amused or deliriously displeased. You must be, Agent Dexler. I turn to see what kind of oddball has walked up to me, and I meet Aaron Fulton, your partner. Interesting start. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. And without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. And hey, make sure to hit that bell icon to receive notifications, and maybe join the Locums Locos by hitting join. Bye!